Hey, good morning, traders. All right, so this morning I'm going to do more of an educational video. I'm going to try to explain how I map these different levels and what makes me take certain percentage of profit off the top. So, BAT, I've put out a couple videos on BAT. Remember, I said once we break out of this triangle, we're going to go up. And my final target here was the bottom of this resistance, wherever that ends up being. It could be $1.10, $1.20, $1.25. Whenever we get there, whatever price level this resistance is at, and I've shown where I mapped that in previous videos, but let's just go back once again to show you why and how it is important resistance. Do auto. All right, so all the way back in pandemic times, March of 20, that's when we dropped significantly under this I would call it was support then, and then we dropped below it and came crashing down. Came up, we almost touched it again in August of that same year. But take a look over here. All right, so once we come up against it again in March of this year, we hit our heads on it several times and couldn't quite press through. Once we did, here is the candle that shows that this is significant resistance, because whenever you see these big buy or sell candles preceding or postceding a major trend line that you've drawn, and at this point I thought, and I was pretty sure that it was significant trend line, but this confirms my theory, because when you see these big moves up, you can say, oh yeah, the market was respecting this level here. And then again over here, once we drop below, this was now acting as support. Look at what happened. We tanked big time. We went from like $1 down to down to like 55 cents, something like that. It was a huge drop. Once again, confirming the fact that this particular trend line is very significant resistance or support, depending on what side you're on. So again, I drew, and since this is an educational video, I will also point out how I drew my target level. You see this little trend line here. That's not really a trend line, but what that is actually a measurement. I drew from the bottom of this triangle to the top of the triangle. You can place that measurement once you have drawn from the top of your triangle to the bottom of your triangle. This is on the daily chart. You can place that where at the point at which you broke out of the triangle. All right, so that was right here, and I'll zoom in so that you guys can see. That was right here on, well, actually we broke out a little bit on the 20th, but didn't confirm that until the next day we opened above that triangle and closed above it. Even though that is a red candle, it still is confirmation that the breakout has occurred. Now, typically, so this red line shows we're going right to that resistance level. All right, that's pretty easy. At that point, I'm totally taking almost 100% of my profits off, and what I'm going to do when we get here is I'm going to look to re-enter at a lower point, probably this dollar support, and then I will net, 20, 25%, maybe at the most. But that's the way to do these trades. But what I wanted to show you today, one more thing. Usually when we break out of these triangles, we end up going up, hitting some kind of resistance, then coming down, then kissing our triangle goodbye, which we did here, but we didn't do the up movement first. So this was a little bit of an anomaly, but we did kiss the top of the triangle down here before we, rocket ships to the moon. And what we did instead, let me get rid of these lines, is we came out and this kind of faked the market out. We went sideways all the way till we hit our heads on that 50-day. Then we crashed down, kissed the top of the triangle, and now it's rocket ships. All right. So that was a little bit different. However, the same, we're exiting a triangle. So you can expect big movement after these kind of bullish triangles. Now, the point of this video, and I wanted to show people, is how to trade this on the way up to your target. If our target is right here, let's say this is our target, it's around $1.15. You don't want to hold 100% of the cash reserves that you have set aside for this particular trade, in this case BAT, to go all the way to the top. It might not make it there. I mean, this is not 100% foolproof. This is just a probability scenario. Normally, when we break out of these triangles, I don't know what the percentage is, but most of the time we can meet the estimate. All right, the estimate is this measurement from the top of our triangle to the bottom of our triangle, which we placed at the breakout. So I'm quite sure we will get to the top of the triangle, especially if I look at the altcoin charts and I look at Bitcoin and I look at Bitcoin dominance. They're all conjunctively telling me that altcoins are going to have their season very soon. And quite honestly, I expect us to do this thing here. Let me see if I take it off of auto. I expect us at some point to come above this resistance, and this will then act as support and trampoline us even further into space. I don't know where we're going with BAT. I've heard estimates $7. I don't know if it's probably a possibility. I just play more of the swing trades. I want to keep my money as safe as possible. So I have a few that I do long-term investing in. And then with the rest of my cash, I play these trades and try to make profit. All right, so let's get to the point of the video today, levels. How did I map these levels out? And what do I do? What is my strategy? Well, remember I said our first level was right here at around 89 cents. How did I get that level? Well, I suppose part of it is through experience. I mean, I've been doing this for years. And so, when I was doing the videos, I didn't realize how many people would question the levels and how quickly I drew them. I just spotted this, this high here, and I saw that once we hit here, we formed another bullish flag. So that looked like a good level to me to sell the first 25%. So once we broke out of this triangle, I invested over here at around 69 cents, and I held 100% of the cash reserves I had. Even through this downside, I held 100% all the way to this 89-cent mark. Well, then what do I do? Well, since I have how do I do this? One level here, a significant level here, and the most significant level here. That's 4 different levels. So my suggestion is, and I stated this in the last video, is once you get here, take 25% off the top. I'm going to see if I can draw that out. Not very pretty, but you get the point. So I took 25% of my funds off the top right there. And now I have 25% in cash. The rest I'm holding. All right. That was yesterday. And then I said, okay, well, if it comes back down, and I expected it to come back down, and hits this, whoops, I meant to have my marker on, and hits this 200-day moving average, I am going to look to re-enter that 25% again. So on that 25%, I got 10-cent gains per coin because it did come back down to the 200-day moving average here at 80 cents, and I had a limit buy-in for the 25% cash reserves. So now I'm 100% back in again today, and I have just made 10 cents per coin on that 25% that I sold here. All right, so now I can ride this all the way to our next marker. Where's our next marker? Right here. So you see what I'm doing? So we hit this level, and I sold this time 50% because my plan was to sell 25% here, 25% here, 25% here, and 25% here. All right, that 4 times 25 equals 100, 100% of my funds. So now I have sold 50% of my BAT at around 98.4 cents. That's exactly the sell limit I put in. And guess what? The market tanked again, not tanked, but dropped again once we hit this level, proving that this is a significant level. Why is it a significant level? Take a look over here. This is our previous high. So I knew that this was going to be something that we come up again and probably suffer some resistance. And that is why I made it a level. I just drew it right through these two candles, top of the last high in September. And I knew once we get there, we're not going to just push right through, probably. Now, we could end up on the other side of that today. That's okay. Look how much I'm in the profit. I'm in the profit from 69 cents to almost $1 already. So I don't care. I'll capitalize. I'll take my profits, and I don't care if this thing moves up further. I'm not going to get FOMO. I've already got my profits. You see what I'm saying? All right, let me take a sip of coffee here, and then we'll talk about what we do next. All right, so now I have a limit buy in for that 50% cash reserves that I took right here. I sold right here. So now I have 50% in cash, and it's waiting. A limit buy is waiting for us to come down. I'm not going to buy in all the way at 89 cents. Why? Because our previous high was right here. That's right around 91.4. So I don't know what it is. Let me see exactly. All right, high 91.7 cents. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm setting my buy limit at 92% just in case. All right. So the 50% is going back in. I'm going to re-enter at 92 cents. I'll be 100% if it comes down. I'm not saying it's going to do this, but if it comes down, I'll be 100% till we hit our next level. Where's our next level? Next level is the intersection or somewhere around this blue trend line and black trend line. All right, so let's talk about where those trend lines come from and why I think those are significant. All right, so first of all, I just drew this blue trend line today, and I'll show you that in a bit. First, let's get to the black trend line. Where did I get that from? All right, so over here, put us on auto again. You can see that we had a head and shoulders pattern, which I had drawn out previously. This is the head, this is the right shoulder, and right around that black line, that's not actually the neckline. The neckline is this red line. But right when we hit that black line, we dropped significantly. I mean, we went all the way again from this $2 mark all the way down to the bottom here, 44 cents. I mean, that was huge, like, 60 cents. So I know by looking at that, that is a significant level. Plus, it intersects exactly with our neckline. Exactly. So for me, that's a no-brainer. That is significant resistance. Additionally, I talked about this blue line. What am I doing here with this blue line? All right, well, I drew this today. I see a cup and handle pattern coming into play. Let me show you. Here is the cup. Here is the handle. Now, I know this is, the critics are going to say, well, that's more than 33% or 30%. Yeah, it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be 100% technically correct. Why? Coffee is the best when it comes out of a Packers mug. It doesn't have to be 100% technically correct, because the market makes the decision whether they respect that pattern or not, right? So if I see this cup and handle pattern, I say, well, that's not technically correct. I'm throwing that out. That's not a legitimate cup and handle. You could get burned, because it doesn't matter. It matters what the market thinks it is. And if the market respects that as a legitimate pattern, then, it's going to be rocket ships and you're going to be left behind. So if we draw this out, and I'm going to do this real quick and then we'll get back to our levels. This is the way you measure the cup and handle patterns. We draw this out. We go from the top of the neck to the bottom of the cup there, to where let's say we break out here. This is also a final target where we could head for this cup and handle pattern. That's at $1.63. And look at this, guys. This is exactly our previous high. That is where we're going eventually. All right. That's a no-brainer, man. Look at that. That is perfect. So what's going to happen in the future? I suspect once we hit this level of resistance, we're not going to break through. That's too big. We're not going to just go right up and break through that. No. What's going to happen here is we're going to come back down, use this neckline as support, as a trampoline of sorts before we break through, and then go up. That is exactly why once we get here to this resistance, I'm out. It doesn't matter that I see this long-term target, because what I'm looking to do is sell 100% of my profits. And then I come back in here, down here somewhere for a re-entry. And then I ride the rocket ship all the way up to $1.63, $1.65, wherever the heck we're going. It's definitely, this chart, the more I do this, it's really looking good. All right, so back to levels. I'm going to get rid of this cup and handle stuff. Let's zoom in. So right now, remember I said I'm 50% cash. I'm waiting for us to dip again before I re-enter. Why am I going to enter the 50% cash? Because I made profits down here on the 25%. So I have I haven't been wrong so far on this move. So I am a pretty aggressive investor, and my risk tolerance is high, which is why I trade, altcoins like this, and I know my patterns. So I'm going to go back in with the rest of the 50% and ride that 50% till we get to this intersection, at which point I now will sell 75%. You got it. All right. So you get the hang of this, right? So once we get up here in this area, I sell 75%. Now I'm in 75% cash reserves. What am I waiting for once we get here? Well, previous resistance acts now as support. So I'm waiting for us to come from $1.02, $1.03, $1.04 back down to $1. Well, you say, well, that's not very much, margin of gain. It doesn't matter. It's a gain, right? I don't care. I'm all in the profit here. I've not been wrong thus far, and you'll be surprised at how much token gainage you can have by these small percent moves. So then I'm going to ride the rest of it, if this happens, all the way here to our 100% target. I guess I got to drag this down. And once we get here, now I sell 100%. This is 100% right here. Sell 100% of my tokens. You don't have to do this. All right, video's almost done. But then I wait for us to come back down and then go up, and I re-enter there. All right, video's almost done. Hope that helps, folks. Give me a like, comment below, and good luck, traders. Happy trading.